Back again for another mountain walk. So just set off from the car and I'm heading up a mountain in North Wales called Yr Eifl. Hope that's well pronounced. Yr Eifl, so EIFL, which not perfect at Welsh, but I'm hoping that that keeps people happy. And the plan is get to the summit and look down at some of the panoramic views that are offered across the Llyn peninsula towards Snowdonia and round Carnarvon Bay. But if you look on a map, on Google Maps, you'll get to see. Maybe I'll stick a little map in from Google. But anyway, the plan is to get up to the summit. It's not a difficult walk. It's only about kind of 350 meters of ascent, so not really going to be huffing and puffing too much. Give my new boots a bit of a try out, but not looking good so far. So the summit, as you can see behind me, is absolutely shrouded in cloud. Now the weather forecast, you might be able to hear from the microphone, it's quite windy. The weather forecast is for that cloud to clear, and if we look in that direction and behind me, it's blue sky and the wind is blowing from that direction, so hopefully carry these clouds away, because otherwise it's going to be a walk up and a walk back down again. So let's see how it goes. Not quite at the summit, which is just up there. But weather forecast for once in my life was right, and the clouds are blown away, so there's quite a strong wind. In fact, I'll try and keep my back to the wind as much as possible, but it is blowing in my face. So the wind is coming in this direction, and you can see there's quite a lot of blue sky, so clouds have blown over, and there's quite a view. Look at that. So hopefully it's a bit misty, so you probably won't get full details in GoPro. But not bad at all. It's a sweep of the bay here. I made a film in the summer, I think July-ish. It's a bit warmer then, but I was down on the beach looking in this direction, so I'll post a link to that so you can see what it looks like from down there. But in the distance there's Anglesey. I've made lots of films on Anglesey, I love it. And then Carnarvon at the mouth of the Menai Straits, and then you come around the bay, Trevor's down there, and then the Llyn peninsula. So I should say, when I posted the video from down on the beach, one of my subscribers, Gareth, I think it was you, Gareth, posted a picture from actually a couple, I think, from up here on Yr Eifl. Hope I'm getting that right. Yr Eifl, I think. Yr Eifl. And I think one of them was from more or less in this spot. So I'm probably standing in exactly the same spot he stood. So they say there's no such thing as a new idea. But anyway, what I'm trying to do is capture the bay, but I want this peak as kind of one bookend, and then that peak as the other bookend. So a panorama where there's a peak at either end and the bay in the middle. I just think it creates a nice composition. And then these rocks in the foreground, so you get kind of a W almost. So I'll show you the setup. Just get that on live view. So there's my. I'll probably start with my image there. I'll take one there, and then one kind of. Hopefully you can see that one there. As you can see, it's quite misty. But get that exposure. I've already focused, so. Just to tell you the setup, so I'll try and cover the microphone a little bit. Just the setup, I've got my polarizer in to take a little bit of the blue out of the sky, but because it's a bit hazy, it won't have a massive impact. And then I've got a graduated filter in, because you can see even though the sun's shining on this heather, it's a lot darker than the sky, so filter will take some of the brightness out of the sky. So let's run you through. So go one there. So that's one in the middle with these rocks in the foreground. So that's two. And then one with those mountains in the extreme right. And hopefully what I get then is a nice panorama. I probably could have done that in 2 shots, but I took 3, so I'll hopefully cover the wind up a little bit. I took 3 because it makes life easier when you're stitching them together. It makes life easier for Lightroom when you're stitching them together. Just to have that 3 shots, it gives it more to work with, although that's the way it seems to work for me. But what's happening now is because there's clouds blowing over and blowing over, there's bits of light over there and it's quite dark over here, so I'm going to do a portrait panorama, and I've explained in previous videos why I do portrait panoramas, but I'm not going to do it now because it's really dark there and really bright there. So for a portrait, for a panorama, sorry, the contrast would be too much between either end. I'd have to do loads of kind of processing in Lightroom, so I'm just going to wait for that cloud to blow over a bit. I won't show you the process. It's the same process, just in portrait. And then when I've done that, I'm heading up there. I don't think the peak is that picturesque. I think it's quite rocky, but I think it's the view from the peak could be interesting. And then we'll see. At the summit, I'm not sure what the 4 symbolises with the A. Is that an H or an I? Not really sure. I'll look it up and see if I can find out. Well, it makes for an interesting. So normally it's just the cairn, but someone's obviously welded something there. So I came up that way. So I told you the summit wasn't that picturesque. So it's just quite a lot of rocks. So just to give you sorry about the wind. So I came up from down there. You can see there's the peak, the quarry that I was photographing before. I would say if you come here, the last little bit, sorry, I'll turn around because you're going to be killed by it. Almost fell out. It's kind of really ragged under feet. So if you come here, the last little bit up to the summit, it's quite a scramble. I would not want to be coming up there if there's any hint of snow or ice without crampons and poles. So if you come, be careful. But the cloud is blowing. Look at that. I say look at that. Hopefully it shows up. The cloud's blown up through the valley there. So what I'm going to do is do a little bit of exploring around the summits, because I think there's a nice potential image that way. Just over the ridge there, there's a nice cairn. So I'm going to see if I can get a shot that way, depending on which way the clouds go. But also, amazing down the Llyn Peninsula. Just, you know, it's incredibly hazy because the sun is there, but on a clear day you could see the whole of the peninsula. But I might try something that way as well. Not so much that way, because we're up in the mountains. Snowdonia is Snowdon's that way. Snowdonia's that way. It's a bit flat that way, looking towards Wimberley. But maybe something that way. Maybe something that way. So I'm going to get down. This is a bit tricky underfoot, but I'm going to go over that way. Wait for the conditions, hopefully the clouds to clear over a little bit and get an image that way, and then I'm going to come back up, see if I can get anything that way. Be nice with the sun a bit lower, making longer shadows, and then off back down. But it might be a while before I'm heading back down, so stay tuned. I've come down, so summit's up there, come down a little bit off the summit. I went and did a bit of exploring around over the other side, looking towards Snowdonia, but I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't find a composition that wasn't just a bit boring. So come down over the other side, looking west and into the sun. But what I'm looking at is I'm having a little bit of a difficulty because it's so windy. I'm don't let go of my tripod, so my bag's up there a little bit. I came down just with my tripod. Bag's up there a little bit. I would hang my bag off the bottom of the tripod to give it a bit of stability, but it's up there, so I'm actually holding onto my tripod because I'm worried about blowing over. The wind is so strong, it's kind of blowing me off my feet a little bit. But anyway, so I'm looking down the Llyn Peninsula and into the sun and into the clouds, and hopefully what you pick up there's a lot of rays of the sun. There's light falling onto some of the fields and the hills, and there's light bouncing off puddles, and I don't know if there's any rivers on the Llyn Peninsula, so I guess puddles and stuff like that. And I'm trying to time an image where the sun is far enough behind the clouds so as not to be completely blinding the camera, but far enough out to get some beams of light falling onto the peninsula. So it's just a question. The positive thing about being so windy is the clouds are blown over really quickly, so every few minutes there's a new bit of cloud and a new opportunity. So I'm here holding onto my camera. I'll show you it's quite hard to show you the setup, the composition, because it's so bright with the sun at the moment. But what I'm trying to do is get those hills in the distance, kind of in the haze, in the sun, mixture of all those things. There we go, the sun's coming out bright now, so no point me trying to take anything at the moment. But then I can see my car. It's down there. So I'm going to try and time this to get some images. I've got 2 filters in to give me kind of 2 graduated filters in, just trying to provide a bit of balance, but shooting into the sun's always a challenge. I'm on f/22, and I've mentioned it before. The reason I'm on f/22 is not for depth of field, it's because you get the nice rays coming out of the sun when you shoot on f/22 because of the structure of the camera, of the iris of the camera. So if you shoot towards the sun and you're on f/22, you get kind of that starburst effect on the sun, although it might be a little bit hazy for that. But I'm going to persevere, wait for some clouds to come and do me a favour. Here we go, what I was waiting for. Clouds with rays coming through. So I've got to be quick. Just get that lined up. So let's have a look. It's quite a simple composition, but I'm just focusing on the rays. So as they move, whoa, almost lost my camera then. That's how windy it is. As they move, I'm moving my composition slightly just to keep the rays coming. So there, oh, that's fantastic. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. So when you're taking images like this, where you've got kind of the rays, forget about exposing for the foreground and all that sort of malarkey. You just want those rays, and I've got, oh, look at that, the sun's just peeping through. Hopefully I caught that. But I'm trying to get those rays. Oh, go for a wide open shot because it looks quite interesting. A wide open, I mean kind of at 17 on my 17 to 40. But look, kind of those rays coming through. It's the timing is everything. So I'm sorry if I'm not making most coherent sense, but I'm trying to do 2 things at once. And multitasking isn't my strength. So, look at that. Look at that. So here we go. This is what I was waiting for. You get the, you'll have seen this. There's enough cloud for the sun just to shine through brightly. I can't remember what that's called. I want to call them crepuscular rays, but I don't think that's the right phrase. Something like that. But they're moving across the countryside. Some people call them God's chariots. But it just makes what was a relatively uninteresting shot, not because it's not a spectacular view, but because it's so misty and grey. The landscape wasn't really doing anything for me, but getting those rays coming through just adds something to the shot. Right, and what I'm going to try and do now is a panorama. Let's see if I can get that in. Challenge of doing a panorama like this is that the rays are moving so quickly, as they shoot across with the wind. It's a bit of a challenge to get it right. Sorry, just bear with me a second because I need to make a couple of slight adjustments. That was entertaining, wasn't it? So, no, I got that wrong. Sorry, just trying to get the camera level. But it's nice to get a panorama right across. Sorry, there was a couple of people behind me a minute ago, and I thought I heard someone fall, but I think they're long gone. So that'll probably do for now, because the rays have moved out of the way. So, but that was what I was waiting for, and you get a couple of moments of activity, and then it's back to waiting to see what happens. But yes, that was pretty special lights coming down through there. The weather forecast was for sun between kind of 2 and 3, so I think I'm pushing my luck to think that there might be more. If I look on the horizon, the wind's coming this direction. There's a lot of cloud, so I'm pushing my luck to hope for more. But yeah, I might do a couple more and then start to head down, because I don't really want to be stuck up here in the dark, and it feels like it might rain. And although I've got all my wet weather gear, I'm not really looking forward to walking down in slipping conditions. So maybe 1 or 2 more and then head down. Well, I think I made a good decision to come down when I did. Since I kind of last spoke to you, I took a couple more, but then, well, I'll show you. Gone pretty cloudy, and the sun is kind of well behind those clouds, so there wouldn't have been any point in hanging around. But yeah, good decision to come down, and I'm just walking back to the car. Pretty slippy on the feet, I have to say, although update on my new boots. This is the first proper walk I've done in the boots. 10 out of 10 so far. A couple of people have asked what boots I got. So they're Salomon. I think they're called 4D GTX. Got a really good deal on them as well. So, but I'm not sponsored by Salomon, so I paid for them with my own money. So don't worry, I'm not trying to flog anything on to you. Sorry, I'm not looking at you, but it's a little bit steep here, and I'm just checking my footing. So yeah, a circular walk. I'm coming back down a different way than I went up. A circular walk up Yr Eifl. Hopefully, I get a bit obsessed about getting the Welsh names right, so hopefully I got that right. And I found a hand on the way down. So I found a glove, which I'm going to leave in the car park somewhere, because it might be the people who are going up and they might see it when they get back. So I hope you will enjoyed that. Hopefully the images turn out okay. Just looking down there, because the sun's gone in, it's easier to see down the peninsula. It wouldn't be photogenic, but because I'm not looking at bright light, it's just beautiful view down the peninsula. On a clear day you can see Ireland. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. Don't forget the time limited prints. So the one from Nant Mill no longer exists, it's gone. A couple of people bought it, so thank you very much. And there'll be one from today up. And then I wanted to ask a favour, to be honest. I'm going to record a new trailer for my channel. The one that's up at the moment I made over a year ago, so it needs updating. So I'm going to record a new trailer for my channel. But I thought, rather than me talking about my channel, if any of you out there are willing to do a testimony, whether that's just to kind of email me something and I'll use the text, or if anyone's willing to record a short kind of piece to camera or your phone or whatever, and you know, people leave very nice comments about my channel, so thank you very much. But so if you're willing to say a few words about kind of why you subscribed and why you enjoy it, if you enjoy it, and then let me know. I'll find some way of kind of uploading it and edit it into my film. So it's a favour I'm asking. So hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you on the next one. which I'm not sure when it will be, but hopefully pretty soon. Cheers, bye. Almost tripped over then. That would have been a good ending, wouldn't it? Cheers, bye, and I fall flat on my face. So cheers and bye.